the journey of you finding yourself, what is this one painful truth that you had to face?
It has been really painful to understand that almost 80% of my problems are caused by myself here in my mind. Yeah.
Do you think we should create ourselves or should we find ourselves?
You create yourself by finding yourself. Because for me, what I think, finding yourself implies you have been being lost. But creating yourself means that you're using like life as at now as building blocks for the person you want to be. But if you want to become a new person, you have to let go of the person you were. Yeah, so I am currently in this journey of reinventing myself, and I find that I am having to let go every day of versions of me that I have known in the past.
I warmly invite you to subscribe to our YouTube podcast, Modern Day Campfire, where we advocate for mental health through a powerful lens of visual arts and meaningful conversation. This platform is a safe space for reflection, expression, and healing. Created with care and authenticity, your support not only spreads the awareness, but also strengthens a growing community that values compassion, creativity, and open dialogue. Join us today in this journey. You are welcome here. Thank you.
Hello, wonderful humans. Welcome to Modern Day Campfire by your host, Martin Sambia, where we advocate for mental health through visual arts and talks. And today, our magnificent guest is Agnes Wambui. Agnes Wambui, karibu.
Hello, asante sana. Yeah, good to be here. It feels good to be here after all the talking about me being here. Yeah.
Eventually, it is happening.
Yeah.
And maybe there is someone who is watching you for the first time, and they're just curious who Agnes Wambui is. So how will you describe yourself to a stranger?
Okay. Well, I'll start with my name. Obviously, it's Agnes Wambui, but I usually prefer the Wambui name more. So mostly I just go by Wambui. So who am I? I'd like to think I'm a lover of life in everything that I do. But in the technicalities, I am a student of arts. I am an artist. I love studying and performing artists. So yeah, I'm studying performing arts. I am an artist in a lot of genres. I do instruments, vocals, painting, drawing, dancing, basically the whole, and then yeah, I'm a student of art. I'm a mom. I'm a mom of one son, and yeah, I'm also an enthusiast of like style. I'm an enthusiast of I want to say herbal medicine, but it's like I like learning how to heal the body using things that are not medicine, or rather traditional medicine. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, I think in a nutshell that's me. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And the funny thing, like the first time I touched a brush, I painted. It was like she was present.
Yeah, funny thing is, that was the first time I was also like doing painting. I had explored like sketching, like using other mediums of drawing, but actually painting with a brush, that was the first time I had experienced it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that takes us back to 2021
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
So since that then we've known one another
Yeah.
till date, and I'm just happy about that I found something like this that could still bring value in
Yeah.
our relationship.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, it is fun, and I'm just praying for many more. So what is one thing that people do get wrong about you?
um okay, I don't know. What is one thing people get wrong about me? uh I really can't like put my finger on it, but I think because I am of I want to say happy dispensation. Like I'm a happy person generally. Like I'm a smiling person. So I think a lot of people think I can't get antisocial, or like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a very like precise answer. I've never thought about that,
Okay.
about that question. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
When you get your answer, just share with us on
Okay.
our comment
Okay.
section,
Okay.
and that will do. So today we are going to talk about the power and the pain
Yeah.
of finding yourself. And out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
what will you tell an audience or a viewer who is just joining us?
Mm-hmm.
What will you promise them to gain by the end of this conversation?
Hmm. I think by the end of this conversation, I would like someone who is watching us to be able to live better with themselves. Honestly, like I think what I would really want someone to do is understand that wherever they are is not like permanent. First of all, is some place they can work out of, walk out of, crawl out of, whatever you're going to do. If you feel like, if you're feeling stuck in like routines and in habits that you know you're supposed, like you know you're supposed to get rid of or get ahead of, and you're still there, like I think I'd like the average person who is struggling with things like even discipline to understand that they're still like they're moving, and it's all part of the journey. And hiyo kidogo yenye utafanya kila siku, it all accumulates in the end. So sometimes you will do mostly mental work, sometimes you will do utajituma physically, and both those days will accumulate in the end. So like I think by the end of this conversation, I'd like the person watching this to see another person in the motions of it, who has not yet really figured it out, but who is still like still moving. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that again.
Yeah.
And my first question is, when was the first time you started questioning yourself on who am I?
Okay. Um, that's interesting. I don't think I ever had that one specific moment or event that triggered the question. But I do remember that after Form 4, when I got my first phone after Form 4, because like mimi in my household there was akukwa like there is no phone before umalize shule, so I got my first phone after Form 4. So that is when I'm setting up emails and like hizo vitu zote. And so I remember this was the first time I was getting exposed vizuri kwa social media. So I found that I was really interested in the like fitness niche sort of. So I was really into fitness. I liked moving because I've always loved moving my body ever since I was like younger. Okay. So and I've always liked having like power inside my body, like strength to lift things, like like general power. So as a Form 4 leaver with nothing to do for the most part, I was really interested. I was looking up videos online, workout videos, nini nini. And so
Just to cut you short.
Yeah.
What type of like body movement were you specific on? Like
That's why like the
you are,
story is starting. I was, yeah, like before it's just like anywhere I found, like I was really into the sports.
Okay.
Like nikiwa high school nilikuwa nafanya sports. I like
Which type?
I was a badminton captain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did badminton. A bit of table tennis, a bit of volleyball, but mostly badminton. So yeah, so I liked the aspect, and I used to go like run in the field sometimes. I like the aspect of fitness. I liked feeling like I could like maybe lift things. Nilikuwa napenda hiyo kujiweza, sijui kama ina make sense. So after form 4 that grew, and then while I'm googling all these people who are telling me like workout beginner nini, that's how I found yoga. So I stumbled onto yoga as a fitness method, like as a method of keeping fit. But then I was very interested in yoga because I realized that I did not like the fast-paced like workouts and like the more conventional workouts. Not saying that I'm very opposed to them or that I don't do them, but for every day, for something I was looking to just simply move my I felt like it was a bit too intense. So when I found yoga, I was really like I was so happy because it was movement, but it was also slow, and I felt like it went along with the vibration I was I was trying to be more chill and like I don't know, be in the moment. So I felt like yoga helped me do that. And then through yoga is when now I started reading about stillness, about discipline of the mind, about so like a lot of times, of course, social media algorithm, when it says the things you're interested in. So that's how I started. And then like this conversation brought me to a conversation where I'm finding so many things that I did not know. And then now I just want to know, now where do I fit in all of this? Like I'm seeing there's these chakras, there's I don't know what gods were, you're trying to explore, you're exploring, unaanza kuambiwa hata like Christianity or nini, all of this is like I got the journey came from like fitness. Through yoga, it entered into spirituality. I don't know whether that makes sense. Yeah, I sort of got into spirituality through yoga. And so yeah, just spirituality is what exploring spirituality, or rather opening my eyes to spirituality, is what started making me question who I am. Yeah. So there was no like specific moment. It was kind of a gentle guiding of the universe to where I am right now. Yeah.
And I'm curious, when you mentioned, like, I know you've made it clear.
Yeah.
You wanted to be more capable.
Yeah.
Starting from like when you were pursuing fitness and everything.
Yeah.
So were you like conscious about it? Like you knew when you work, when you move more, you will gain more energy. Were you like aware of it?
Well,
it was just subconscious.
I will start by saying I've always been a bit of a stubborn person. Like I remember, like there was this time in primary school, and we were supposed to be moving logs. I don't know to where. And I insisted. I was really tiny in primary school, and I insisted so much on like moving such a big log that like just to prove that I could do it. I don't know. It was, yes, it is to feed the ego, but yes, I just wanted to feel like I can do it. Like I can take this big challenge and I can do it. So that a bit of that stubbornness, I think, fueled it. I just knew I wanted to be like stronger. I knew that if I did press ups, like 10 press ups every day consistently, I will gain like strength. Like I will ningekuwa na hiyo ni nguvu, like huwezi jicompare kama unafanya 10 press ups a day na mse hafanyangi,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be, because I've always been an enthusiast of fitness, in whatever way it was practiced, but I've always been an enthusiast of fitness, of keeping a good body, and if eating healthy, nini, it has been something that has been in my life for a long time. So
Yeah, you've answered my question.
Yeah.
And thank you
Okay.
for that.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is that one belief that you used to believe about yourself, and with time you realized that it wasn't true?
That I think that I'm supposed to be perfect.
Okay.
Or that I'm not supposed to make mistakes. It's like comes as a maybe hard pill to swallow, but we all make mistakes. Yes, we all make mistakes, and what I've discovered is it's better to make them when you're younger, than because you have more time to recover from the mistake, or like to learn from the mistake. Yeah. So the one belief I always had of myself that now I know is false is that I had to get it right the first time every time. I grew up in a household where low key, it was not at a very apparent ukikuwa number one ndio utapata rewards, but it was implied in the better you perform, the more praise, the more, you know. So when you grow up in such a situation, I'm not like hating on my childhood, I'm just saying those were the conditions that, so you kind of associate perfection with, like, you kind of associate your being accepted with being good enough, with being perfect. So kind of what formed in my brain is that I needed to be good enough every time, so that I can maybe pursue something. Like for a very long time I didn't give myself the grace to be a beginner at something. That I think what I'm trying to say, like I wanted, kama ninaanza kuchora leo, nifike nini, nifike, you know. So, and that robbed me a lot of the journey of becoming, you know, because I found that I didn't start, because you're not going to start today and be Michelangelo tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. So the fear of starting because I was not going to be good enough, because I knew, because you know, unajua unachora tu unaona hii picha hapana. It's not what I want to nini. And because in my head mentality yangu ilikuwa I cannot afford to be like mimi ndio naanza with such a bad thing. So it robbed, I will be like, okay, so kama siwezi kuwa automatically good at it, I'm not going to do it, you know. And so it robbed me a lot of that, and which is something I've later come to realize, and like I've changed it, and now I'm just experiencing the journey.
And how is it?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to be not good at something and happy with it. Yeah, I think I've found so much freedom there, where I'm not chasing perfection. I'm just being, it has been freeing. Yeah.
Okay, that is well put.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love your
Thank
approach
you.
towards them.
Yeah.
The fact that you bring in your life, I get to resonate even more.
Yeah.
And
yeah, thank you.
My next question is, in the journey of you finding yourself, what is this one painful truth that you had to face?
Wow. Okay. My role in my pain.
Okay.
I realized, like, it was not the easiest thing to confess, or to come to terms with, but I realized that if I got comfortable enough I was very good at, I want to say, victimizing myself and attributing all my, I want to say failures, not failures, but like all my shortcomings to outside forces. You know, like I will say, maybe I could say, yeah, like I have this business and it's not doing so well. But then I'm like, oh my God, people are not even buying my stuff. But then I'm like, first of all, you have not even posted once on WhatsApp about your product or on Instagram or anywhere. You have not like done the work. Ndio ulie hivyo. The same went for like inner work or shadow work. Like um you know, there is, when you do shadow work or when you're sasa in the journey of learning yourself, you start understanding that some of the things in your life are patterns that recur, you know. And so when you understand that, you have to make the decision to change. Like when you just know there is a pattern you have been following, the knowledge is not enough, because now me, I used to be like sawa najua, but then I'm not doing anything about it. So the outcome is still the same. And then I'd be like, why is me? The universe doesn't like me. Why are things not, you know, instead of understanding that the pattern I am choosing in everyday choices. Like it's a pattern I am choosing over and over again. Yeah. So I think the most painful thing was understanding that only I myself can save myself. So if I want a different outcome, I have to change the pattern and not be like, sasa nangoja mtu anisave ama mtu akuja anionyeshe. There is only so much someone who, either a mentor or someone, can do for you. So you have to take accountability or responsibility, or rather, of the role you play in your own pain, because ukisha realize uko kwa matope and then unakapo una roll kwa matope, it's not the same. Like you understand, ni sawa, maybe nilivaa slippers, so this is like the pattern. I don't know whether your analogy itashikana, but like slippers, ulivaa slippers hazina treads, so you slide in the matope. So you're supposed to understand, next time I'm supposed to wear like shoes that are not going to slide in matope. So, but if you stay in the matope and like, oh my God, nilivaa slippers mbaya nini nini, you see, you're only going on a roll kwa matope, it's getting worse for you. So, like understanding that only you yourself can, no unaweza jitoa tu kwenye uko. I feel like does that tie it together? The pain, the role I play in my own pain, like some of the things in life we go through zimekosiwa na vitu unafanya, you know. And there is an extent in life inafika, you can no longer play the oh I didn't know card, because you actually knew. Ni venye you maybe chose again not to choose yourself in a sort of way. So it has been really painful to understand that almost 80% of my problems are caused by myself here in my mind, like by my mentality. When I look at things, your rigidity, like so much, I want things to be like this, and if they're not like this, then evil, you know. It's not supposed to be like that. Like in life, you're supposed to be so fluid. You're supposed to like take the knocks and the hits, get up, like over and over again. So I realized that it is very easy for me to slip into a victim mindset. And that is what I mean by the role I play, like the role I play in my pain. Yeah. That I really have to escape this mindset of I'm waiting for someone else to, or I'm waiting for this condition to be good so that I can act, or I'm waiting for, no. Like stop waiting for outside conditions to work. Work on yourself. Do what you can at the moment, the best way you can do it. Yeah? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that is well put.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about you not posting your work on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And did you ever find out the reason or the roots for that, why you were not posting your work?
I will say greatly, it is imposter syndrome, feeling like the work is not good enough.
Okay.
Especially to show to the public eye. Yeah, a lot of it is that. A lot of it is that lack of faith in myself and lack of the belief in myself that this is going to work. And another big part of it is a lack of a system with discipline. So I can post today and then I'll not post for 3 months. You know, so anyone who did not see my status that day misses out on ever knowing I have such a product. Yes. So yeah, it's again the role I play in my own pain, where I know I'm supposed to be a bit consistent, like a bit more, like do a bit more, but hiyo sasa kujituma. So yeah, it's a mixture of those two. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think we should create ourselves or should we find ourselves?
I think both of those things are the same thing. Creating yourself, you create yourself by finding yourself. Because for me, what I think, finding yourself implies you have been being lost. But creating yourself means that you're using like life as at now as building blocks for the person you want to be.
That is finding yourself.
That is creating yourself.
Sorry, and
finding yourself. I don't know. I feel like it implies having been lost at one point or another.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Here's why I think both of those things merge kidogo, because finding yourself, the situation is maybe you've gotten to a point and you're like, hey, I don't remember ever being so comfortable with doing this and this. I don't remember not being able to do this and this. So like you have this version of yourself that you feel like you are removed from when you're trying to find yourself. Yeah. So but then by how you find yourself is that you now start repositioning things in your life, and you start saying, no, I want this aspect of my life to be like this. I'm going to make more effort of this to be like this and this. And so through finding yourself, you're creating a whole other person, because this new person is not the version you felt removed from. Is like the person who has the like experience and knowledge of including this person who wants now to find themselves. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
You are.
Yeah, so I feel like in a way they are the same. But if we were to speak in terms of our inner children, I think one finds themselves again in terms of you're told to, it's like going back to that, because when you're a child is when you feel safest, you're just expressive, you don't have inhibitions, you don't believe that, oh, this can't be done, this can't be done. So I feel like a lot of us in adulthood are trying to go back to that place where we just believe everything is possible, and through the grace of God it's possible. Like, because when you're a child, a lot of everything worked out in a way or another. As much as there was the missed trip or something, there was the naivety of like what is the opposite of being pessimistic?
Optimism.
Yeah, there was this naive optimism in childhood. And so what I feel like actually kills a lot of adults is not at the actual material lack, but the pessimism in the head of haiwezi happen hivi, nje haiwezi happen, oh nini, that's too much money, nini. Like we, over time, as we get to adults, like we are continuously, there are like bars that are put to block the like hizo kukosa inhibition ya mtoi. So I feel like as an adult, what you are finding again is that freedom of just being able to dream and imagine your best life, and like naively believing it's going to be possible. I don't know how, I don't know the details of the nitty-gritty, but like I know this is where yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like talking about talking about self-awareness journey can also be the same part, right? So how does your self-awareness journey look like? Let's say to a day that you've decided to consciously
Yeah.
practice self-awareness. How does that day look like?
Well, I wake up and I spend like 5 to 10 minutes in the silence. Like I like to, when I wake up, I like to take a few minutes to just feel my body, like move my toes, do things like 5 minutes or 5 7 minutes where I'm not doing anything, and then I like to drink water. I I think ideally what I'm trying to say is if I'm in the moment, I feel like I am living my best life because I'm not being rushed either by something I need to do because that means I'm living in the future, or it does, I'm not being haunted by something I did or didn't do, which means I'm living in the past. So in a day where I wake up and I'm fully aware of every moment, like when I'm walking, I'm like, sometimes I find I'm walking very fast and there is no even know where I'm going. Like, as in, naenda kwa nyumba, but I'm in this state of agitation. Like, it's like, let's go, go, go. So when I'm doing like that, when I'm in such a state, and then I'm like, okay, calm down, wait. And then I even slow down my walking. I feel like doing that every day becomes being self-aware because you start understanding things like maybe you're feeling pressure to go to a certain party, and in the moment you might not question it, but if you take a step back and be like, okay, why am I feeling the pressure to go to this party? It's because of I am fearing to miss out, mini. So like self-awareness is brought about by living in the moment. So you consciously think about the things you're doing in the simplest form, like you just break it down. You're like, why am I rushing? There is no need. If there is a place I need to go and I'm rushing, well, that's valid enough. But if I'm not going anywhere that is time urgent or anything, why am I rushing? It is giving my whole body an anxious, even my mind is anxious. So just calming down and then understanding that now you start understanding that there are places that heighten maybe your anxiety. There are spaces that make you more suggestible to doing maybe things that are against your values. So by living in the moment, like understanding, for example, if you're having a hangover and you're like, I don't like this feeling, and this feeling was led by this, and this. So you start being self-aware enough to be like, I didn't like this feeling, so I'm not going to repeat what led to that feeling. So yeah, so I think living in the moment is for me is the only way to be self-aware. Yeah, along with read books. I feel like read books because there is no like knowledge is infinite, and you learn so many things from people who are in this, who have gone through the journey, who are more ahead of you in the journey, who are still going through the journey. You learn things that will make your journey easier. So yeah, read books, speak to people who maybe you look up to, speak to them, people who are where you want to be, maybe mentally in the self-awareness journey. Emulate them. Yeah.
About reading books,
Yeah.
how do you read? Like in terms of timing, like how regular do you read? For how long do you read?
Okay.
And what type of books do you read?
That's a very interesting question because I think a lot of people try to put like I don't fit in any category. I can read a book in a day, and I can read a book in a month. I can read a book in an year. Like there's books I've started and I've never finished reading. There's books I've started and read in a day. Like the book was done in a day. I also I read a variety of books. I like reading like spiritual books, like spiritual, like the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, like self-help books, books that help me open my mind up more. I also read business books because I'm into business, and I like making money is something I'm actively seeking in my life. So yeah, I also read fiction. Yeah, so I do not have a specific. I can tell you now. At I read. No. I do the whole genres. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one characteristics of an open-minded person. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is powerful.
Yeah.
I am trying to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like after high school, I've never been open to fiction.
Yeah.
To fiction books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should be going back because I know it does something to our imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to go back to that. So how was your your reading habit when did it start? And when was the last time you read a book?
Last month.
Last month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last month. May, I don't think I've read a book in May. I've not read a book in May. But April I did read. I finished the book, The Secret Lives of Nairobi Women. The second book. I finished it that last month.
Okay. What was the book about? The Secret Life of Nairobi Women?
Yeah, so it's a book that so this woman, the author, is she interviewed like different women in across Nairobi. So it's just personal stories about different women. Each cast story is about a different woman and something they have gone through in their life that has changed, like the way they are whole, like maybe their experience, their journey, their life. Yeah. So it's like a biography about different. It's like short stories about different women, but they are real. They are real like stories about real women in Nairobi. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I've asked you the question of your journey towards self-awareness,
Yeah.
and the core principle you've shared with us is being in the present moment.
Yeah.
But I know there are people out there who are also seeking to be in the present moment, but they need routines, like you mentioned, of silence, reading books.
Yeah.
So, do you have other routines that you practice as an individual, or are there any routines that you feel like maybe you could recommend to them?
Okay. Well, I feel like that's a tricky question because not everyone is similar. But yeah, but if someone is interested in the same things I am, I like body movement is one way that you make sure is one way that you're in the present moment. Like it's a sure bet way of making sure you're present in the moment. So anyway, any form of moving your body, I will encourage people to do it. Whether personally, I like yoga. I do yoga in the morning after I wake up. I don't do it like immediately after waking up, but I try to fit it in my morning routine because first of all, it really opens up the body, the muscles venye ulikuwa umelala venye zinashikana nini really opens it up. And also
you do it on a daily?
Yeah, I try to do it on a daily. If I miss it, I'll miss it maybe twice a week. Yeah, but I try to be consistent enough that I do it daily. And I also feel like another misconception is that when people say, oh, I do yoga, you feel like you have to commit a whole 30 minutes. Honestly, me, I stretch for like your yoga for like 10 minutes maximum a day, because I also felt like I don't have that much time in the morning. And so when I put it in my head that the only way I will feel I have achieved movement is if I move for 30 full minutes back to it made me feel, you understand, like working with your own schedule and your own life. It's okay if the person who taught you yoga does 30 minutes yoga a day. It's okay. It doesn't mean you have to follow the exact thing in your footsteps, in your, yeah. So yoga, personally, movement, whether you jog, whether you run, whether you swim, whether you play basketball, whether you dance, obviously dance, yeah, whatever it is you do. If you're a person who does instruments, using your, like, engaging with your instrument, if you're a person who is into the music space, engaging with your tools for a period of time can help you be in the moment. Another routine, I don't know, I think also if you could set up a tribe or a community, or rather seek one out, where the things you want to do are encouraged and celebrated, that will be nice. Like, look for a community that likes doing the things you're doing, and engage with them so that it gives it even more joy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that is well put. And my another question is, have you ever been in a position where you had like to let go of yourself, like letting go of maybe something that people expected of you, or something that you used to define as an identity, but for some reason you just had to let it go?
Yeah. So I mentioned that I'm a mom, right? So one thing about motherhood is your whole life changes. Okay. The version of you that you were before you got this baby is done, like, is forgotten, is completely done. You're never going to go back to being that person. So yeah, I had to let go of that version, and I'm going to say it was not as easy as I expected. I'm going to say it was not as automatic as I expected, because I thought I'd be like, yeah, I'm a mom now, just snap into being a mom. But then you have to let go. When you're a mom, things like um, regular hangout with friends, or just like the impromptu being like, oh, where you at? Things like those zinaisha. So that's just an example of the tiny details of how your whole life changes. So I've had to let go of versions of me that do not. I've also had to let go of, like, versions of me that don't serve me anymore. I've been at a place in my life where the version of person I was someone who was very. I used to hold on to grudges. I used to, like, be very, like, little patience, kukasirika kasirika, like, someone whose emotions were not balanced at all. I could, like, go off. The smallest, the tiniest thing could make me so gloomy. Like, so, like, I'll just be like, my day is done. Atakama ni saa nne. So growth, and of course the journey has helped me be aware that there are things even about myself that I'm supposed to change. There are versions of myself, there are old versions of myself that sometimes I really fight to hold on to, but are harming me. Because you see, the way you're told that if you want to become a new person, you have to let go of the person you were. Yeah. So I am currently in this journey of reinventing myself, and I find that I am having to let go every day of versions of me that I have known in the past. And so yeah, it's something that I'm doing, like, continuously. It's not even something that I had to do at once. Yeah, like, it's something I'm doing continuously, and that has been, I've realized, a very big part of my journey is, like, constantly reinventing yourself, constantly being like, yesterday I thought this option B was better, but then tomorrow I find out, wait, option B was not better, option C was better. So again, I don't like go back and be like, oh my god, now I thought B would work, it's not going to work, sasa niko hapo. I'm like, nope, we do again, see. So, like, constantly reinventing yourself, constantly, like, evaluating yourself and understanding the things that you're doing that are not working for you. Yeah. Yeah, so versions of myself, yes, I've had to let go of many versions of myself, and I'm continuously letting go of versions of myself. Yes.
Yeah, that is well put.
Yeah, thank you.
Touching. It really is touching. Like I can empathize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hapo kuna big shift.
Yeah.
And how do you know when you're living authentically versus performing to others?
Okay, so for me, when I'm feeling most, I want to say at peace or like most satisfied, like when I'm feeling most, like if I'm feeling like that like I know I'm at peace. I just know I'm at peace like that. I know that I'm living my life for me, because there are like of course different periods in my life where I'm feeling a kind of pressure. I'm feeling like maybe nilienda event nafaa kupost ama nini, but then when again I think we mentioned something about this earlier, yeah, you feel pressure ya kufanya kitu, you're constantly living in the future, so you're basically living in a perpetual state of anxiety. Yeah, so whenever I feel like I'm just at peace, I'm not like overthinking anything, maybe I'm drinking water, I'm spending time with my son, I'm not feeling like I have missed deadlines, or like I just feel like that. I feel like that is how personally I usually measure whether I'm like, yeah, I'm authentic, because these days I have found that the level of posting I do has reduced monumentally. And I'm not saying that the people who post every day are nini, but I realized, as in the level I used to post with, like before maybe I got pregnant, to right now, because I have found myself so many times feeling like, oh my god, I should capture this moment and post it, oh my god, I should do this and this, but then again I step back and be like, am I really doing that for me? Ama will I enjoy that? Ama sometimes I just be like, you know what, it's okay to just like experience the moment as it is, because sometimes your pressure ya kupost inakuanga ni juu subconsciously niliona mse mwingine amepost ama nini, so najiekea ka pressure kama hiyo, you know. So just being like, I'm at peace with just spending time, for example, with my son, even if it's such a picturesque moment, and being like, you know what, I'm good like this, just having this quality time with him. I feel like things like those for me, they really tell me where I'm at whether I'm acting for people or I'm living authentically as myself. Yes. Yeah.
That is well put. And if you were to strip away your relationships, and I'm putting your son in scope. Yeah, your achievements.
Yeah.
Your job.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, those ones. Who will you be still?
I think, who will I be? I think I don't have the answer to that question.
I've been thinking also.
Can I be honest and say I do not have the answer I think I'm now figuring it out. Like I'm not there yet. I can't tell you I think this is that is, I think, the reason why I'm on this journey, actually, to find out who that person is, who that person where. Because actually, if you really realize, a lot of times when we are introducing ourselves, we're just saying things about, we're not saying things about ourselves, we're saying things like about like, yeah, I'm somebody's mom, I'm a student of nini, but who are you? Okay, Sawa, who is that person's mom? Sawa, you're someone's mom, so who is the mom? You know, like, who is that person? So if I'm being honest, I do not have an answer for that question. I'm still figuring it out. Yes.
I've been thinking too.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking, and but when I saw that question,
yeah,
I've been thinking.
Yeah.
And when I ask you now, I was thinking.
Would you say you have an answer to the question?
Yeah, for some reason.
Like, yeah.
It is something that has hit size. Because now if I was to remove the relationships, I will no longer define myself as someone brother, someone son, someone friend, someone. if I was to remove the achievement, I would put the podcast away, the art, everything away. If I was to remove the job, the same I would do that. And I feel like maybe qualities now remains, like things like maybe honesty. Can that make sense? Like maybe you are an honest person.
You are an honest person. You are a hardworking person. So maybe it's the values and the principles you stand by. Maybe it's an aspect.
Now when you look at it that way now, I feel like you have an answer. But you'll tell us.
Maybe in the next time I'm here.
She will be coming again.
I promise I will be back.
And also she's working on something. And I will just want you to just tell us like what is like the title. Where they can find you. And also like why the name Uncharted, like what is your niche? And
so I wouldn't say, first of all, I'm going to go out there and say that despite all the recommendations that you have a niche, I do not think I have a niche. But I also do have a sort of podcast. It's actually a podcast, but it's a video podcast actually. So it's still on its first phases. It's still on the first but it's called The Uncharted Voyage with Wambui Gachau. I'm Wambui Gachau for the record. So it's from the name, it suggests that we are taking a journey. Again, a voyage is a journey through like the seas and the oceans, like a water body. That is like when people are traveling by ship, they say bon voyage or something like that. It's like goodbye. I'm going voyage. Voyage. I think we are voyager. We were voyage. I don't know. It depends, but a voyage. So and so for voyages or voyages, whatever. Again, like at Ndege, there is usually like already established like routes and waterways, and so when the route is established, it's charted. There is a chart, like a naval chart, like in naval, like navy, naval, like the navy, army, naval, like charts. So the idea behind the Uncharted Voyage is we are going on a journey, but this journey, like, it's not somewhere people have been before. It's something we are creating on ourselves. So it's uncharted. It's not on charts. It's not charted. It's like a charter is like a map, but of the seas. So it's not on the map. It's not somewhere people have gone and being like, so this is the way. So we are learning as we go. So it's an actual journey where no one has been before. So it's going to include a lot of things because we are going to, ideally, it's like living through my lens of how I see life, because I'm a lover of art, and I'm a lover of storytelling, and I'm also in the film and media like field. So it's like a combination of all aspects of me, and just like encouraging more people to put themselves out there as much as they feel like, because a lot of times we feel like you're not unique enough to sell or mimi sijui. So like just it's just a call out or like an inspiration to people who have always wanted to start journeys that like they have these wildest dreams, and they're just like, it's an inspiration for people to start the journey with me. I'm also starting my journey. You start your journey, and then and then we'll see how it goes. The whole point of it being uncharted is that we don't know how it will go.
And despite the fact that we don't know how it will go, I'm just rooting for you, and I really want to see it working.
Thank you.
And for that reason, you're going to commit to my audience, because I'm going to host her again on, like, I just want it to align with also the growth of this channel.
Yeah.
So I will just on her 15th video, how many videos do you have at the moment?
I have one video so
You have
far.
one video.
I have one video so far, yes.
Yeah, kindly go and support and watch it.
Please, please.
Support her.
Yes.
Give her hope. So like on your 15th video, we are going to still have this conversation. And so like we are going to like, she's gonna share with us her experience from the video 1 to video 2.
Yeah.
And from that, maybe I feel like maybe it can enlighten someone out there. But I need you to commit to our audience. Like, how regular will you be posting your video? And I want you to commit to them and be consistent with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's really putting me on the spot right now. I will commit to once a week. So I will upload, on Tuesdays, I will upload a video once a week. So if anything changes, if we can do more, we will be able to do more. But for the commitment part, for the accountability part, I will commit to doing a video a week. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if she doesn't, we just come
at
up
least
to this video.
Mseme ndio hiyo proof. You see the way these days people, social media doesn't forget.
Yeah.
People take you to where you said that. Yeah.
And okay,
yeah,
that is great. So I do pray for that, and I'm just looking forward to see where your 15th video will be, where your channel will be there, or the dynamics that you'll be experiencing there. Yeah. Okay. So I know there is someone who is maybe stuck out here with finding themselves, like still confused. They don't know where to start. They don't know even what finding themselves is. They don't know even if what they are in, is it being lost or anything. So how will you give them hope today?
So to someone who is trying to find themselves, I will give them hope by saying, I personally haven't found myself yet, and that you are not alone. I don't know whether I have a specific advice on what you will do next, because again, situations vary. Where what I think is lost when I'm trying to find myself is not the same way you think you're lost in trying to find yourself. But I think I would encourage people to find communities where they are safe in, where they can speak about that issue, or find reasons to get you out of that feeling. If you feel like if maybe you're in a depressed state, find a reason to this will sound wrong, but find a reason to get up. Maybe you can adopt I don't know, a new hobby. You can commit to walking 5 minutes you're in your stairs, like apartments, but my biggest advice will be to start. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there is no sure way, there is no sure path that this is what you do when you're finding yourself. The only way you get there is if you start. And again, I said this a bit earlier, no one is coming to save you, so you just have to start. I know it's comfortable in the place of we are waiting for someone to save us. It's comfortable to attribute your shortcomings to outside forces. It's very comfortable. But when you start taking accountability of yourself and being like, you know what, I've been in a depressive mood for how long, but I'm going to take initiative. I'm just going to start. Whether it's going to be picking up a pillowcase, whether it's going to be today nitakamua kikombe sitaweka kwa sinki baki hapo. You have to start. You have to start. Emphasis on you have to start. Okay? You start and be consistent with it. show up for yourself every day. And yeah, in the end, that effort, in the end, it becomes easier more than harder. In the beginning, it's going to be a bit hard, and you have to really like get the energy from deep within, but it becomes easier the more you do it. So the only way out is to start. Honestly, the only way out is to start. There is no sure bet way of getting there, but you never find that out until you're on the way, and you understand that the only way is to keep learning and to keep knowing. But you'll never understand that if you don't actually start. So start. Yeah.
Thank you again. Uncharted Voyage.
Yes,
is
the
name of
Uncharted Voyage.
The Uncharted Voyage
Yes.
by
Wambui Gachau.
Wambui Gachau.
Yes.
Or you haven't used the Agnes?
No.
Yeah, it's the name of the channel. Guys, go show some support.
Please.
And yeah. I thank you also for your support, for your never-ending support, because I don't know, like even this evidence of your support is what is giving me every reason to keep on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And also try to, as much as I won't get you the famous or the popular guests,
Yeah.
but I will bring you quality guests with quality conversation. And I do hope that she was able to keep her promise to the viewer who joined us. I hope your questions has been answered. Yeah, and that is all for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you again, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. Thank you. I'm so glad I'm here, because I remember when the last time we met, it was basically an idea. I think the channel.
The channel, the podcast.
Yeah, and the fact that right now we're like, how many episodes in are you?
This is going to be the 64th.
Imagine, that is awesome. That is like such proof of, and also it's an encouragement to me, because now I'm in the place where you were at 64 videos ago.
Yeah.
And seeing you like actually doing this and consistently putting out the work, it's just giving me a lot of motisha. So again, I've encouraged the audience. I've started. So yeah, tutafikiana tu.
Thank you again.
Sawa, thank you so much for having me. Aya.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. See you next time.
Yeah.
Aya.